Are you planning a Caribbean vacation and you're torn between Aruba and Curacao? Well, you're not alone, and many people make the wrong mistake and miss out on the hidden gems of Curacao. My name is Sean. Welcome to Boundaries Unlimited. Just take a look at these stunning hidden beaches here within Curacao with nobody around. You're definitely not going to find that within Aruba, so stick around and find out why Curacao should be your next vacation destination. All right. So let's get into it. Why are we comparing Aruba to Curacao? Both are very popular Caribbean vacation destinations, but they both offer something very unique. From culture and natural beauty to accommodations and local attractions, we will cover it all. This is the video that I wish I had when planning my trip to Curacao.
The right place.
The right place for the good coconuts. Also, when visiting the home of the blue Curacao, it makes the trip all worth it on its own. It's like tasting the ocean. First up, let's dive into the natural beauty of the islands. Curacao is famous for its breathtaking beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and pristine natural parks. And don't even get me started on the underwater world. Snorkeling here is like swimming in an aquarium. Now don't get me wrong, Aruba has its own beautiful beaches, but they tend to be more crowded and commercialized. Sure, Eagle Beach is stunning, but you might find it hard to escape the hustle and bustle. In preparation for this trip, Ksenia and I got our PADI diving certification so we could fully enjoy the underwater world, and I highly recommend you do the same if you enjoy snorkeling. Just completed our very first ocean dive with Go West Diving in Curacao, and wow, that was amazing. It felt like we were swimming in an aquarium with all the fish all around us. That was insane. It was a total of 4 hours, about 2 hours of actual dive time, 2 tanks. When we were actually parking the boat, what was crazy is a storm was blowing in, as you can see right behind me, and there was actually tornadoes on the ocean.
Tornado.
That is insane. It's like the tornadoes followed us all the way from Oklahoma. So we're gonna get cleaned up and we're gonna go get something to eat at Isabella on the beach. I'm not sure who Isabella is, and I'm not sure where the beach is at. With that out of the way, the burgers and the beers were worth the stop, especially after diving all morning. I would highly recommend you stop here if you're looking for a good burger. Now we're taking a half-a-mile hike from our Airbnb to a small little secret beach, a little hidden cove. It actually used to be a pirate's cove, so maybe we'll find some treasure there. Maybe even some booty.
2 hours later.
Pirates, they really hid the cove really well, so we all walked around for about 30 minutes. I could not find the trailhead, so came back to the villa. We're gonna get the modern day pirate ship. We're gonna go find this cove. I'm not gonna rest until I find the treasure. Modern day pirates. Well, it took a little bit of effort to get out here, but I'm glad I did not give up because this is truly a hidden gem. Look at this small little hidden cove. There is nobody down here. The current was a little rough to get out here, but you know what they say, a smooth sea never made for a skilled sailor. So we're making a stop at Playa Grande, another beach off the west coast of Curacao, and for one reason, that is to go to the local fish market. And we're gonna meet with Luigi so we can get us some fresh tuna for the evening. But there's one thing in particular I noticed. There was a lot of people swimming and snorkeling right off the beach. So let's go find out what everybody's looking at. And I found the second best reason to visit Playa Grande is to feed and swim with the turtles.
Yeah. Right.
So don't just come for the fish, but also come for the good fresh coconuts.
Yes. The right place.
The right place for the good coconuts.
Ta-da!
So we made a midday stop at Playa,
Kalki.
Curaçao's most northern beach that offers a full dive shop, good bars, good food. Bar? Because is it a true beach vacation without enjoying some tropical drinks on the beach? After spending a few hours on the beach, it's time to hop back in the car and we're gonna go for a little hike to one of Curaçao's little hidden gem. And it goes by the name of the Blue Room. So I will show you guys exactly how to do it so you can do the exact same thing when you come to Curacao. I almost fell in the pool with the camera.
Show you a good dive.
0. So after running into just kind of a mudslide, and there's not really anywhere we could have gone with that trailhead, here's the restaurant right here. It looks like a dive shop as well too. I talked to the owner. He said that we can just cut through here and get to the Blue Room this way. So after about 10 minutes of walking, we make it to Playa Santa Prutu. But this is not our final stop. We're gonna keep on following the trail. Look, here we go. Here we have some signs. We're gonna follow all the arrows. So now we reach a T in the road. We take a right, as the directions say, and we will be at the Blue Room. Also, it's not a very difficult hike. There we have 2 over 60-year-old women, one that just watches soap operas all day, 2 that just watches soap operas all day, and they still can do this hike. So if they can do it, you can too. Diving into the Blue Room in Curacao is like diving into a bottle of blue Curacao. Maybe that's how it got its name, but it was a really cool experience, really beautiful. We saw a big school of fish. We even saw a tigerfish, which was a really amazing experience. But I want to put a little disclaimer out, because if you are a good snorkeler, you will probably be okay. But if you get a little claustrophobic, I would just be careful, because my mom, she's a pretty good swimmer. She went out there and she freaked out, and we had to rescue her out of there, because I wouldn't say you even have to dive necessarily, but you just have to swim over kind of like the edge of the cliff, and you go underneath it, then you pop up and you're in kind of a cave with a big air pocket, and it gets the name the Blue Room because the light illuminates the water, which the water reflects the blue light onto the walls, which hence the name the Blue Room. So really cool experience. If you're in Curacao and you don't have claustrophobia, I would recommend you go make a trip to the Blue Room. Rest of the evening, we're just going to enjoy the villa, enjoy the sunset, and then cook up some of that tuna from Luigi earlier this evening. Today we're exploring Willemstad, the capital and the biggest city of Curacao, famous for its pastel-painted colonial architecture. Back in the 1800s, the governor of Curacao suffered from terrible migraines. His doctor suggested that the reason why he was getting the migraines was because the sun was reflecting off all the white buildings. The governor Albert issued a decree to paint every structure other than white. Once he died, they actually realized that it had a big stake in the only paint factory within Curacao. We're currently walking across the Queen Emma Bridge. It's also called the Swinging Old Lady. This bridge is the only floating wooden swing bridge in the world. I was taking a video, but after exploring Willemstad in the heat, we were parched. So what better way than to stop at the local brewery, the Swinging Old Lady Brewery, which has really good beer. They even have a porter, a dark beer, which is very uncommon for these tropical destinations. Oh, speaking of the Swinging Old Lady, she's swinging as we're speaking. And the beer was so good we had to leave with 2 32-ounce growlers to enjoy the pool later this evening. Next, right next door, is our lunch spot. Curacao has a vibrant mix of influences from Africa, Europe, and the Caribbean. You can really feel it in their music, art, and of course, the food. Picture this, you're enjoying a delicious bowl of cachiana, listening to local rhythms like tumba and salsa. It's really all about that authentic vibe. And if you prefer a strong cocktail, look no further than Mondo Bizarro. It has an interesting history of once being a brothel. So ordering a sex on the beach today will get you something different than it did back in the day. Curacao offers a range of accommodations, from boutique hotels to all-inclusive resorts and some Airbnbs. You can find places that really let you soak in the island life with beautiful views and friendly locals. We are staying at the most northern part of the island of Curacao at Cliff Villa, the most luxurious Airbnb on the island. And you can too, because I'm going to put the link in the description below. The reason why we chose such a nice place is because we really wanted to give our parents the ultimate Curacao experience when booking this Airbnb. So enough has been said, let's go ahead and check out the place. A spectacular 8,300 square foot villa perched on a 40-foot cliff with 360-degree ocean and mountain views. The villa offers a 140-foot wraparound infinity pool surrounded by sugar white beaches and some of the best diving in the Caribbean. The luxury home is built on Cliff Villa Peninsula, which overlooks a magnificent diving reef, set in the island's national park where you can watch whales and dolphins swimming out into the bay. So now I'm going to share with you some of my own personal experiences. I've been lucky enough to travel to multiple Caribbean islands, and I haven't really found one that I fell in love with until Curacao. Ultimately, my goal with this trip was to share the gift of traveling with my parents that have never left the country. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm thankfully now in the position to be able to do so. Originally, I was torn between Aruba and Curacao because of the locations of the island, because since they are in the southern Caribbean, they are out of the hurricane belt, which was important because of the months that we were traveling. Between the two islands, I wanted to find one that had white sandy beaches, crystal clear water, and I also wanted to expose my parents to a different type of culture and give them the culture shock. I also wanted to find an accommodation that was conveniently located next to all of Curaçao's offerings so we wouldn't have to venture out too much. Now, me personally, I'm not a big resort guy, and I'll tell you why right now. You cannot recreate the same experience of staying in a secluded Airbnb in a resort. For an example, when we stayed in Turks and Caicos, we stayed in an Airbnb off Taylor Bay. One day we decided to venture out to the main beach of the island called Grace Bay. As we were walking through the beautiful white sand beaches of Grace Bay, to the right you have the beautiful ocean. To the left you have tons of resorts. And with tons of resorts comes a lot of people. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be sitting on the same beach as 100 people after I spent hundreds, thousands on a vacation and spent the time to travel to a whole nother island or country. And that's why I prefer Airbnb, because a lot of times you save money and you get the seclusion and you get the more authentic feel of where you're traveling to versus a touristy resort area. In picking the Airbnb for this trip, I wanted to find a place that was just breathtaking, that was out of this world, because I really wanted to give a gift to my parents and just really surprise them with something they've never experienced in their whole entire life before. Between Aruba and Curacao, I ultimately chose Curacao for all the points above. And for example, the Airbnb that I booked in Curacao would have easily been 2 to 3 times more expensive in Aruba. And I wouldn't have been able to give my parents the same experience if we would have went to Aruba. To wrap things up, we've covered a lot within the past few days. From the rich culture and stunning natural beauty to my own personal experiences and local attractions, it's clear that Curacao has a lot to offer. If you're planning your next Caribbean getaway, I highly recommend giving Curacao a shot. So what do you think? Have you been to Curacao and Aruba? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, comment below, subscribe for more, and we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.